Oh my god, wild Alyssa up here.
Hello and welcome.
I'm in my evolved form.
Summer.
It's true. I definitely reached my next evolution as a Pokemon after having a baby.
True.
Was like definite level up.
Well, welcome to the news, everybody. We've got a very special guest coming today, Mr. Monsieur Capitan of Cardania. We proudly bear the Cardania C behind us pretty much every episode.
True, yeah.
She's always there. Yeah.
Dang straight. When you got this quality of a glowing, we haven't turned it on in a while, but it does.
Let's take a look at it.
Many beautiful colors. I love that this equine shirt, like you could wear. I love that you could wear this equine shirt to CNFT Con, or you could wear it golfing, and they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The people that you were golfing with would be like, "Oh, that's one of your
ride
companies."
Horses.
Yeah,
you must own many horses.
Yeah.
Well, because you do.
That's true. You do own many. You own a robot. You have a robot horse. Is the thing that they don't know.
I was actually telling Trevor earlier. I think I could wear a different CNFT shirt every week until CNFT Con. So.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Got the supply.
Oh man, I want to get in on that.
Yeah,
all right, I'll start with you next week.
All right,
we got a couple news items just briefly that we want to roll into before hitting the main show. Tyler?
Yes. Okay, so the first one is
Tyler with the news ticker.
Some quick things. The first one is Catalyst voting for Cardano Catalyst, which get up the tweet. But voting started today, and it will last for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today, voting will close. And there's tons of great submissions.
Tyler's.
I have one. I think some other great ones. Obviously, Cardano Over Coffee has one. Smog Pool PM has a big one. Such like a really big part of the community.
I want to know about theirs. I want to know about that.
Yeah, I keep seeing it. I gotta read through the whole. I want to read through the whole thing soon. Maybe next week we'll do like an overview.
Oh yeah, we good.
But yeah.
Catalyst run through
stuff. So that's the first bit of news. Yeah, so everyone get voting. Second thing I saw is today's actually the last day for Fahad Dukin's time capsule.
Has all the good stuff been taken out of it?
No, actually, I don't know if you guys. I know you guys have been busy. I don't know if you guys know the interesting stuff he's done.
We don't know Jack.
Let me pull up the page. Let me pull up this guy. Okay, so there's about half remaining. I'll pull it up on Pool PM in a second. But it closes today, and the way it works is between I think the 17th of this month and today. Yep, 17th. Any purchase of the time capsule counts towards a raffle. So right now I think there's just over 1,000 with 500 left. So at the end, which I think Faha said will be 24 hours after it closes, so sometime tomorrow, the rest of the NFTs will be raffled out with each purchase from the 17th being.
That's spicy.
So is it each purchase ever made or like from
starting at the 17th?
Yeah.
What was it?
Starting at the 17th?
Yep. Between the 17th and today.
Like I missed it.
Yeah, any purchase. But it'll be random. So like let's say there's exactly 1,000 people submitted and 5,000 left. Each person will get 5 NFTs. Obviously it's gonna be not perfect, so some people might get more NFTs than others. But yeah, and let me see if I could pull up the wallet quick because there are some big things yet. Not to cause any shilling, because I'll be honest, there's way more trash than good things, but the good things are really good.
I like the idea of I just like such a redistribution of such early projects. Like,
yeah,
it's cool to think of new people that would never have found that otherwise.
Or even like people to get one. Like, for instance, the bull Spacebud still hasn't gotten pulled, which I think was the top valued NFT in the whole even more than the Berry, according to Faha.
Oh.
So that hasn't been pulled yet.
Wow.
So unless someone pulls it in the next few hours, someone's gonna randomly pull in their wallet.
How nice.
But there are, I don't want to cause any FOMOing because there's a lot more trash in this wallet than like project. Like we've been around and there's a lot of things that I don't even recognize in here. But and like a lot of those projects have a lot too, like hundreds of NFTs. While Spacebuds, I think there's like 20 something left.
Right.
Yeah, I see some very large numbers in there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what. There's still a Rodrigo, so someone's gonna get a 109 tomorrow.
You know, there's some quality in there still.
Yeah. But yeah, so if anyone's interested, that's still going on. If anyone gets this, send it back to Faha. Because it's probably isn't gonna mean any. Do you guys recognize this?
Yeah,
yes, I do, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Not that you have to send it back to Faha, but I mean, this is all a side tangent. But Faha, you should get this. It's a free invite. It's Ladiwa. I mean, it might have happened by accident, but anyway. But yeah, that's what's going on with the Faha time capsule. Cool. I think that's all the news I can remember.
It's good news.
Very juicy.
Very good. And we'll talk a little bit about the pin bin later.
Yep.
I think it's time though to bring on
V. I'm sorry, I'm trying to perfect it.
It's time for our special guest. Are you guys ready for this?
Woo!
I think it's time.
I'm so excited.
Let's do this thing.
Freaking out.
Well, I guess first is nonsense now. So we'll do nonsense now, and then we'll do our special guest.
That's right.
Let's go. Well, God.
Everyone's favorite.
I recognized it immediately.
He belongs here. The choky chicken belongs.
That's right. Yeah, the rubber chicken's I think he's officially on staff now.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You're gonna have to give him some rad tokens at least.
Good for the nonsense segment.
Now, we didn't prepare too much nonsense for you because we wanted to make sure we left a little teaser like, if you want more nonsense, come to Marbles every Friday.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's a lot of nonsense. We had some funny stuff on Marbles the last few weeks. There's been some just like pure comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
The Wiener map was easily my favorite.
That's because the bear market is a funny time. I mean, it can be a rough time too, but a lot of really good, because the dark comedy comes out then, and that's the part. That's the one that really
be able to. You got to be able to laugh at this stuff. You know, it's like I don't know. I like I take it I take this stuff seriously, or rather, I feel like I build rather seriously. But remember, we're making games and art and stuff. It's not it's not the even being the market it is. It's cool to see like how many people still are there every week, because like I don't think a lot of other projects that are running through the No, I don't. Yeah, it's very consistent, and it's hundreds of people, which is crazy. And then it's
part
actually
of their life. I mean, it's built into their life.
Yeah, literally.
And for this stuff, so it's really cool. And it's like I don't know. It's a lot of fun, and we just kind of I feel like we keep improving it, and we keep getting more subscribers. And like the other week, we had this raid from like a Quebec streamer or something, and
must have invited him.
Yeah, it's like 100. It was like another 100 or so. People showed up, and it's just I don't know. It's also, I think, a really good way to onboard people to Cardano, because it's like, oh, okay, I can just show up and win, or at least potentially win some cool NFTs, some of which are very valuable. So, I think more events like that. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's kind of weird because it has turned me into like, well, you and me, and it's sort of a de facto game show hosts. But
it's a good tool to have. I mean, now
Yeah.
you literally have. I mean, you say that with a literal wheel behind you. It's like
That's right. Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
I look like someone. I was on a call
it
with
a
someone. They
spin.
were like, "You look like you work in a strip club," and I was like, "Well,
Yes, space stripper
Strip
aesthetic.
with some-
yeah, that's right."
Spin the
So-
wheel.
Yeah, we want to
Please.
see a wheel spin.
You want to see Will Smith? Yeah, sure. We got to update this bad boy.
It
We
even
got a
works.
bunch of new prizes and stuff on there, man. It's
That wheel spin is great because it proves that that's a real background.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not,
It's
you
not
know,
just
just
like a
green
picture.
screen.
it went
Spin a
backwards. 50,000 rad. There you go. We'll give 50,000 rad to whoever you select.
Sounds good. I want to give it to the chicken.
Oh yeah, he needs to get paid.
Oh yeah,
Pay for
true.
the chicken. So, just to catch everybody up, we're talking about marbles
On Twitch.
on Twitch every Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. It goes for about an hour and a half usually. 5 races.
It's free. You could win the best prizes in
Mhm.
NFTs.
There's lots of prizes. I mean, at
You could
least
win an Aeonium Sky. You could
Yeah, I was gonna say you could
Yeah.
win the best prize in CNFTs.
Yeah, the Aeonium Sky marbles they're just legendary at this point. And there's only going to be 100 of them, and we're at, what are we at, 88 or 89 now?
Oh
Something
my
like that.
God.
So it's like,
yeah.
Time is
Wow.
running out. You gotta get on it. So
so.
Click. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Toast.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? We've got some nonsense to go through here. I mean, obviously, most of this is nonsense, anyways, but we have some specific nonsense centered
Sanctioned
around Las
nonsense.
Vegas because all of us on screen, will be together in Las Vegas in less than a month.
X.
that's right.
V.
Yeah, we'll all be there. Imagine what that's going to be like.
It's gonna be too good.
It's gonna be too good.
It's too good.
So we got some questions here. This is an interesting one. Would you like to?
This is not a Vegas themed one,
Oh, we're gonna start with
but
that.
it's got a Cali vibe. You know, it's got a West vibe. Imagine a world where everyone's voice sounds like a famous celebrity's. Whose voice would you choose to have as yours?
Johnny Cash, easily.
Nice, good one.
He's got a voice.
And you also, it's good to choose a singer because then you're already a good singer.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Built
that's
in,
a
built in,
good-
baby.
Good
Good
move.
Yeah,
I go with
Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert Godfrey. Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Oh!
Step backwards.
You don't even need it. Just do it. You should just talk like that all the time now.
Did you know Gilbert Godfrey's on Cameo, by the way? I'll occasionally browse Cameo just to
Oh,
think
that's
it's
a
like a
good
funny
one.
little
Yeah,
like a
I
funny
like
little
it
thing.
too.
But
He passed.
yeah, you can get him. You can get him for like $50 or something and just say,
Wow.
"Hey, happy birthday," or whatever, you know.
It's
I want him to
iconic.
read a love poem.
Oh my God.
a love poem.
Yeah.
We've got some choices from the.
Oh yes.
Well,
from the
obviously,
viewers.
Windier is torn between Scott Chestnut's voice, obviously,
Yeah.
and James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
which one's more iconic? It's hard to put
Hard
a
to
label
say.
on it.
Obviously,
Hard to say.
Chestnut is passing Earl Jones as we
Yeah,
speak.
he's aging out. I'm up and coming.
Mhm. It's your time.
Or at least, yeah.
Toast is likes
The girl that played the nanny. Yes, that is a
Also an
good
iconic
choice.
voice.
You're not going to
Fran
get good singing along
Drescher.
with that, but
Fran,
yeah.
yeah.
Also
That's
the
good.
head of SAG.
And the voice for
Screen
this
Actors
strike,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And making some good points out there.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, another
The
question.
nanny versus
If you had the power, and you do in this scenario, to change the liquid that spouts from the Bellagio
we know you've
fountain,
answered this, but we need it. We need
Yeah.
it.
No.
pick a different
Proof.
one.
Oh, damn, a
What
different
liquid
one.
would you choose
For the
for
Bellagio.
the
to spout.
Bellagio? Yeah.
I think. Okay, I actually I've given this a lot of thought a few different times
Yes.
for whatever reason. I'm thinking. I think a crowd pleaser would probably be the Mountain Dew Baja Blast. You
That's
know.
a good
Out.
Vegas vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Vegas. It's very West Coast.
Pungent smell.
It's got caffeine. It'll
spreading.
keep you awake.
Yeah. All the streamers would be, in front. It'd be like a whole deal.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
move.
a good color. It's a good color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bellagio should pay me for that idea.
I like
frankly.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a blast at the Bellagio. It's got alliteration. Come try the Baja Blast at the Bellagio. That's fun to say.
Yeah. Bajalagio Blast. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, we did some nonsense. Let's jump into the main thing here. We're going to do our special guest. Then we're going to see a little video. And then we're going to see another little video.
I love
And then
that.
we're going to talk about stuff.
Cool.
So buckle up.
So you want to join the epic wars, eh? Let me guess, Captain's filled your head with notions of riches and glory, hasn't he? I suspect he neglected to mention the monstrous horrors. Convenient. The living lands are brutal and merciless. You must fight to earn your place. But if you survive and bring victory to your faction, well, who's to say how far you'll go? All the treasures of Cardania could be yours. All right, lads, we got more meat for the grinder. Get him suited up and shipped off to the Nexus. Let's see what he's made of. Good luck out there, lad. You're gonna need it.
And maybe we're training the future, teaching them how to focus. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Let's play some Marvel.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
That's Cardania.
In
In a nutshell. I love how schizophrenic it is.
I do too. I feel like I'm downloading information what Cardania is to my brain, and maybe my eyelids are being tipped open, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, good.
Right. Yeah.
I was dancing.
You get when you land on the station. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there's so much happening now. I don't know. It's just a crazy time, and we just keep building, and it seems to be working out. Oh,
yeah, going strong.
It's working damn good.
Yeah.
I even saw some throat singing robots in there.
Yeah, we got a lot of
right.
They look like throat singing
good robots coming up. So Cardania has, never really stopped developing throughout all of this. I don't know, 2 years now, and what that means is there's a lot to it at this point. It's just been layering and layering and layering. So we just wanted to get caught up because rarely do we have time to just go through it all. This is the time. I want to hear from you if you have any screen shares that you want to share to show us a little bit about what you're talking about. We can try to pick pieces of what we just saw and apply it to what you're saying.
Yeah, give me just a second here. So I'll show you kind of what we've been working on. Can you guys see that?
I will bring it up here.
Let's see. I'll just show you guys the inventory system.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what we're working on right now, which is the inventory system that's going to be embedded into the Nexus.
So cool.
Yeah, and it's very exciting because this is similar to how we brought in all the 80 plus Cardano PFPs into the Nexus. We're able to bring in other stuff now that makes sense within the context of Cardania, but is also just part of the sort of the Cardano ecosystem. So you can see there's a weapons slot that has one of the projects has like a cleaver or whatever, and then we can apply our own bonuses to those things, those policy IDs, and even we can even drill down into rarities if we're so inclined. And
so you get a better modifier if it's rarer.
Yeah, exactly, and that's actually a lot of work. So initially, it's probably all just gonna be policy ID based, and then we can slowly hit the level of detail. But that's in testing right now, and it's looking really good. It's also going to provide utility for some of our older mints, like the Holiday Collection, the Ghost Chain cards, the stamps. Yeah, the stamps. We love the stamps. And of course, like Aeonium marbles and all that's a big part of it too. And then another cool thing that this is opening up is here. I'll show you guys a little bit of some of the armor and stuff we've been working on.
Oh yeah.
So
are you going to release a big an upfront amount, but then keep adding?
Just a second here. Here we go.
I mean,
you guys some of this here.
When it's first released, will you be adding more trinkets and stuff even after it's initially released?
Yeah, absolutely. So what this kind of enables is a few different things, which is interesting, and we've been kind of discussing the best way to go about it now. So by having the system, we can do a bunch of small money mints, I think, which is kind of what you'd expect out of sort of any game. You want to be able to spend maybe a couple bucks and be able to get some cool upgrades or whatever. But also, what's coming along with this upgrade is that you're going to be able to find rare mintables just playing Epic Wars.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so some of the stuff, in fact, I would say a lot of the stuff is not going to be available on the storefront. It's going to have to be, you have to go find it, and you just have to get lucky. The initial thing is going to be through anomalies. So some of the anomalies are just going to have items which you can choose to mint. There's still going to be a cost to them, a little bit of whatever it is, but so you can get lucky and get yourself like an ultra of whatever the item is, and the only way to do that is going to be through playing the game.
And then you'll be given the opportunity to mint it within Epic Wars.
Yes, all within the same system. It's all totally integrated, which is crazy.
Wow, for sure.
Yeah, and then we can expand that system as we go to incorporate, like, let's say maybe you have to fight a boss, or maybe maybe certain mintables only pop up under a particular chain of conditions or something like that. So it starts to turn it into much more of a robust kind of it's a robust game that actually integrates the tokens now as loot, rather than just something that you can buy. So that's exciting. And then the other part to this, and we're still actually here, let me pop this up here. We're still figuring this out, and like we're literally just talking about this today. So this is like extreme, alpha. Then I haven't actually made the decision on this, but so what we're looking at is these are basically the new Cardania assets. This is a custodian armor and a custodian helmet, and this is actually on a Ready Player Me avatar. And yeah, for those who are unaware, Ready Player Me is sort of their goal is to basically have interoperable avatars across a ton of different games with Unity or Unreal or whatever. And since we were making these assets anyway, I was like, see what this looks like on these meshes over here, because you can go download the base meshes and stuff. It looked pretty good. And we already like have Ready Player Me, at least potential functionality. We signed up for a long time ago into our Unreal Engine. So I was like, shoot, this might be a good way to go about it. However, if we do that, it's going to preclude the citizens as being the only player character. But that might be the way to go, just because the way we made the citizens is requiring a lot of extra effort. It was a bit, this is just going back in time, is a bit of a mistake. Was the way we designed it it's too high poly basically. So all the citizen stuff had to get redesigned, and it's still in process. So, but we're figuring all that stuff out. But this is just sort of a very interesting, as we layer systems, it opens up new possibilities like this. So that's very exciting, and that's all stuff we're just working on right now. If you want, we can talk about all the stuff we've just done over the last few months.
Yeah. There's been a whole bunch of stuff coming out. We got the inventory thing, which we've touched on here. There's Nebula Run is one that we've been able to play around with a lot during Marbles.
Yes.
And
Nebula Run
it's
is
active all the
amazing.
time, and anybody can just join this little multiplayer game that Eustasia created.
Shout out.
Without breaking a sweat, I assume.
Yeah, here, let's go. We can run right now. I don't hopefully someone's watching and wants to play. But so you just log in here to the Nexus, and you click new public race, and it's going to assign you a race link here, which I'll copy, and I'll send it to you in the Discord, so maybe you guys can toss it in chat. I don't think I have access to the chat, but there you go. And I'll select a starship. Let's see. I'll do this one. That's my best one in this wallet here. And then that basically creates a room that people can join. And you can select the length of the race. Let's go with like 3 parsecs. And you can have up to 8 players in any given race, which is super fun. And obviously this is using the starships. The starship. Oh, there we go. Toast just joined.
I'm getting this set up myself.
Beautiful starships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And we also have a link. There's even a spectate link. So if you were, for whatever reason, like let's say, you're running we really want these 8 people to run or to race, and then other people just want to watch, there's a spectate link as well, which is kind of fun.
All right, I'm in.
Or if your
Cool.
ship is nervous.
It might be.
Toast and I are running similar ships here.
Yeah, look at that.
Like to see the stats though. Can we click
you
those
can
open?
Yeah, you can click. Yeah, you can see the stats here.
Ooh,
Let's
Toast,
see.
looks like I gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see.
Got an
Maneuverability.
edge.
This is, by the way, actually a hard game. I feel so bad at it every time. I'm like, I gotta get better. Because you gotta keep your mouse over the little bouncing ball, and then occasionally a boost will pop up, and you gotta click the boost. And then if you do that, you get ahead pretty well. But the more that your mouse is not over the circle, the less likely you are to when you start losing speed and stuff. So,
Curly Knox, we got to get you a ship. Keep rolling marbles. You got a chance to win.
Curly. All right. Well, let's see. We'll start with the 3 of us here. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. And there's a boost at the beginning of the race like that. So kind of like Mario Kart, you can get that little early boost.
I think it's nice that it's hard because you don't get to have a say in marbles with this.
Yeah, true.
Yes, much more skill based.
Yeah.
Did I get it? I think I missed it.
Yeah.
Did I get it? No, I think I got it. I found a way to cheat, luckily. So I'm working on that. You want to know the trick?
Sure. You gotta see
You
it.
just zoom in. Zoom in as far as you can. It makes the
that's
circle bigger. That's right. It's possible.
So hard.
I know it's very hard,
I mean-
even with this fake advantage. I don't know. You have to move your mouse a lot more, so maybe it's worse.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting my butt kicked in this one.
Remember that it's all for fun. Did I win?
Correct. Yes, Trevor
That was
first
the
place,
time I
Toast
tried
second place.
my cheesy trick there. Seems to work.
All right. Next time time, everybody do the trick.
Yeah, so that's Nebula Run, and it's up all the time. You can play anytime you want to. You can hop in the Discord. You can start a race and drop your link and say, "Hey, anybody want to race?" Each starship gets up to 5 races per epic. Currently, you're just winning experience, but we're going to add some more stuff on top of that as we go. We'll probably plus up the game a little bit more as well. We're thinking about adding maybe some weapons or something, just a little bit more dynamic to it over time. But, baby steps.
Yeah, a lot of interesting possibilities there. And it's great.
Yeah.
It's another thing. And that's just a great little, take existing assets and do something with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be done infinitely with anything.
Infinitely. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's, that's what's so exciting about building this way. For me anyway, is that, all these things that we mint, or even things that other people mint, is all potentially usable, in any given game. And that's kind of one of the most exciting things about, Web3 and in Cardano especially. I think it's one of the biggest opportunities we have in Cardano is it's sort of a technological advantage that we can, identify all these things by policy ID. We can bring them in. There's no crazy smart contracts tied to any given token.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal, and I'm actually surprised that more Cardano people don't talk about it, because it's in my mind that's sort of the foundational level of what a functional metaverse looks like.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Linking it all together.
Loving it. Okay, so what is this with the Discord mini games? You mentioned this. I've not been in the Discord much. I'd like to hear more about that.
So we've onboarded a fella who's been with us for quite some time and is also the lead dev for the Cat's Eye Casino, which is another project on Cardano. And he was making some games in Discord. There's a very accomplished bot developer over there, and he's been a fan of the project for a long time. Marble Racer and all that. And he was like, you know what, let's make some Cardania Discord bots, which is I wanted to do that since the beginning of the project. We just we only have so many devs and so many resources, so it had kind of been on the back burner. But now with and this is Selkies, by the way. So now with Selkies on board, we're able to basically, we've already launched a couple cool just little simple Discord mini games. And we're working on some more like robust stuff, like sort of RPG type things. And it is all integrated with the RAD token as well as all the resources as of right now. And we've just been testing a lot of stuff and kind of just slowly deploying little bits and pieces, kind of as we do. So yeah, you can expect more of that in Discord. I think Discord's probably a pretty important piece of this whole. This whole Web3 thing, it seems like. A lot of the latest tech stuff is happening in Discord, a lot of the latest AI stuff. I don't know exactly why that is, other than just Discord, I think, is very popular with sort of the demographic of people that are in the space. But I'm happy to develop
it works. I mean, it just works so well for anything that you're doing with streaming, and it's just a nice place where you can talk to people in communities.
It's perfect for communities, and communities are like such a big part of this ecosystem. And that makes a lot of sense.
It's cool. Customizable,
and like the home base,
they're not like, this is how it's gonna be. They're like,
and it's like like there really isn't any other place where you have where you can form a community like that,
where you'll have voice. And I mean,
like maybe like Reddit is like kind of close, but even that is like not.
Anyway. It's just not customizable.
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not. It's just not as. It's not as customizable, not as dynamic. And by integrating all these tokens on top of it, it really does just become part of the little universe that you make here. So that stuff's very exciting, and you'll see a lot more Discord development from us, just because now we have a developer that's kind of their main focus. So it's just it's super exciting.
That's really good. Yeah. Look forward to it. So NFT XLV, it's happening. No booth from Cardania this year, but there will be Cardania presence. Can you tell
That's
us
right.
about
And
that?
Cardania pins.
Oh yes, that's right. The pin bin featuring Cardania physical pins as well as NFT pins. So look for that.
That's right.
We're
So
not
yeah, we're gonna be there, and we're gonna be hanging out and high five, and I'll probably have some free stuff to give away. So if you find me, just
I think that's the way
come
to go.
on by
Just
and
come with bags of swag to give away.
yeah.
You don't need to be tied down.
Yeah, we went super hard last year. We got the giant booths, and we, I think it was very good last year that we did that. I had a great time, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you made an impression on Charles as well.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I feel like we needed to do that last year because I felt like there were so many projects that weren't kind of like real, or they're kind of faking the funk, and I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we were like there and we're developing and we're like committed and all that. But we've done that, and I don't know that the ROI on doing that same thing again made any sense.
Not 2 years in a row.
This year.
Yeah. And not during a bear.
The bear is here.
Yeah.
Wait for the bear to leave.
Right. Yeah. Go meet some starships. Yeah. It's just it is. It's rough. If you look at the stats, though, Cardania has actually held up very well in the bear. I've got to say, I'm super. Yeah, I'm super proud of how it's all gone. Whether you measure it by floor prices or by holders or all that, it's just all it's held up extremely well. So very, very pleased and happy with that.
For that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you are offered some speaking opportunities at XLB, maybe.
I hope so. I hope so too. I did submit for it. Let me see if I can find. I'll drop this link here if anyone wants to check it out. We basically did a rather long. It's like an hour-long discussion for the University of Georgia about a month ago or something like that. Yeah, about a month ago, and there's only so many people who are interested in an hour-long academic discussion about Web3. But for those who are, here I'll send Trevor the link there. It's called the Philosophy, Architecture, and Future of Web3 Games, and I kind of discuss. It's more of like a high-level sort of academic discussion, like why is this all here? Why is this a thing? What does it all mean? How we got here? What problems the sort of the Web 2 games industry and the relationship with customers is currently facing, and why Web 3 is actually a solution for at least a potential solution for a lot of that.
We'll just jump through here.
This is awesome. I did not know about this.
Yeah, we had heard rumors of this in development for a little while. It's great to see it live. Yeah, and
this is basically the YouTube version I did after the class, which was very, very, very cool. It was the University of Georgia's blockchain class, and it's fun to just talk to young people who are excited about the same, all the same stuff.
Well, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions here about Web3 gaming, specifically. And these are for fun. I think you'll have some good thoughts here, though. So, I'd like to hear from you, a accomplished Web3 game dev. What you feel is an obvious, quote unquote, obvious mistake that Web3 devs make, and then
game devs make.
Game devs, exactly, and a not so obvious mistake.
Okay, so I've definitely come up with a few mistakes, though I don't know which is more obvious than the others. I would say it actually goes back to what we were talking about with the citizens. One of them is that prior to so we started as basically an art project initially, and then we became sort of a game project. And in that transitory phase there, what I should have done was establish some poly count standardization very early on.
Right.
But I didn't do that for the citizens. So that's why I was just like, hey, I want it as high quality as possible. I want it to look as great as possible because it's we're trying to basically sell a 3D digital asset here. We want it to look fabulous. But in doing so, that doesn't interact well with whatever game engines you're trying to put it in. It might look great in Blender, but that's pretty much it. So I would say set a very judicious poly budget, which is it can be like a little bit of a task to figure out, but it's not that hard. There's sort of standards for this stuff within various engines which we're now basically doing. So that would be one of them, and then the other one is, and I think this may be the less obvious one, is that because we're in Web3, you need to remember that you're in Web3, and because of that, you can architect things, and maybe should architect things a little differently than if you're just running a regular sort of Web2 company. And what I mean by that is that, similar to going back to how we're talking about this interoperability of assets and stuff, your sort of base layer, your base file layer that you're building on is actually all these NFTs. So you have access to this entire network of tokens if you're so inclined, and if you're building utility for those tokens, for those projects are probably going to talk about that. Those projects are probably going to be happy about that. Their communities are probably going to be happy about that, and they might want to check out what you're doing. So it's the flip of sort of this sort of traditional capital accumulation thing where you're like, it must all be mine, and but we must only build for our stuff here. If you kind of change your mindset a little bit and you open up, and you sort of start allowing some of this interoperability, I think the energy you get back from that is probably well worth the investment, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this project started as an art project and then moved into this whole, it kind of exploded outwards. But you're on Cardano the whole time. So why Cardano for art, and then why for Web3 gaming, and how was that transition for you? Was it smooth? Were there pitfalls and hiccups along the way?
Yeah, actually, let me pull it while I'm here. Actually, I have a slide about that. Since I'm on this somewhere in this thing anyway, let me see if I can find it.
Visual aids.
Yeah,
Because it's interesting starting a project and then kind of, it changed directions, or it expanded in its scope quite a bit, and that's got to come with some difficulties.
Yeah, absolutely. So I initially started on Cardano because I sort of understood the vision. I had already interacted with Ethereum, and I had a lot of issues with that. As just a business owner, no matter what I'm selling, I don't like this concept that any customer could potentially lose funds just by trying to send me money, just because of you have a failed transaction, and then it's just like, oh, you don't get a product. Or
that didn't make any sense to me working on ETH. Like,
it's such a crazy risk. It's like, no, like I don't want to send my enemies to do that. That sounds terrible. So that was probably number one, and this was all well before even NFTs were a thing on Cardano. I was into the vision of the protocol. So and I had minted one thing on OpenSea. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is, I could do this here. But I was just much more interested in this sort of blue ocean of what Cardano could offer. And then, over time, it's just like you just start layering stuff, right? We got the stake pool up and running. We started to sell a little bit of art here and there. And then at a certain point, it was probably right around the time like the Ghost Chain cards hit. It seemed like everybody was it seemed like we were accruing this community of people who understood like this vision that we could actually make games here, which could be really good and is sort of a pioneering thing. So it's been a constant evolution, and gosh, I'm trying to think of like more specific insights for you. Can you repeat that question though?
Yeah, just a question of how did it so you're on Cardano and you already knew a bit about what Cardano could do. The capability of Cardano was expanding at the same time that you were kind of expanding what your project vision was. So I guess my question is, why stick to Cardano? There's of course chance to switch changed. There's because Cardano is very new, very untested, and there weren't even smart contracts for so long. And yet you were still developing this game in anticipation
Yes.
of those contracts and more. So I just like to hear your thoughts.
Sure. Yeah. So part of it is that I like the vision so much that I thought, okay, I want to plant my flag here because I think this is going to work. I don't know this is going to work. I have to have a little bit of faith. And if the architecture works as advertised, which is sort of what I've got on the screen here, then that is actually what we need to produce what I would envision as sort of a metaverse. That term is so bananas at this point, but in terms of creating a series of games that have interoperable tokens, and it's sort of a thing that doesn't exist anywhere else. So that's the exciting vision for me. And then all these other chains that are out there, I'm not necessarily against them. I'm just not. It's like each chain, if I'm going to put an asset on there, I need to be confident that it's not going to shut off. I need to be confident that if my if my customers are sending transactions back and forth in it, that those transactions are secure, that all that kind of stuff. And I just don't have that same confidence with a lot of other chains. By the way, I've been basically face down in Cardano, so there could be some new stuff. I've heard a lot of great stuff about just a ton of them. Like Ergo seems great. I've heard about Nervos. I've heard about I don't know. There's a bunch of them, but I just I can't spend the time going to learn about each and every single one. At least not yet. I think maybe that makes sense at a certain point once we've got sort of the version 1.0 vision of Cardania set up, which I think we're still probably a year, 2 years out from, to be honest, for what I'd like it to be. And then maybe we start bringing out these other chains, but primarily I just want our assets, our art assets, our game assets to be on a chain that I have confidence in and is going to be around. And then everything else is just payment rails. Like if people want to give me their whatever their Ethereum or their whatever chain, then that's fine. But I think our architecturally, I think all of our stuff is probably just going to stay on Cardano.
So thoughts about interoperability with other chains, in the future? You've talked about working with other projects on Cardano using their assets. What are your thoughts on expanding that to other chains?
Yeah, and well, this gets back to sort of the architectural sort of risk issues. It's like if we can do it in a way that I'm confident that those whatever that bridge is not exploitable, then sure, then that's great. Though I'm not. It's just one of those things. It's like I'm not sure that it makes a ton of sense to spend a lot of time on it right now, as much as it makes sense to build sort of the most robust, most functional, most accessible architecture we can here, and then sort of start building out the other places.
Yeah. Well, I guess another question I had: are you using smart contracts at all in Cardania yet? Is that?
Yeah, we've deployed it. We've deployed a few. Cardano is interesting because the smart contracts are so flexible, and you can design sort of smart contracts on using your own server infrastructure. You can get as, how do I describe this? We've got something right now that's so nitty gritty. It's like an RNG on the chain, so it's a verifiable bit of fairness that you could check on the chain for RNG. But then there's other stuff that just runs through our servers and stuff. And it on the front end it looks like a smart contract or it functions like a smart contract, but it's functionally something that we can adjust. But I also think that's important, right? Because if that's another big problem with building on like Ethereum, for instance. Again, also Ethereum guys, I know they're layer 2 solve some of the problems. I know. But the flexibility in being able to adjust that stuff on the server side, especially with tokens that are not bound to smart contracts, lets us actually just develop the games as we need to, or develop the infrastructure as we need to, and because it's so adjustable, so it's so modular. There hasn't been any transaction or any anything like that over the last 2 years where we've been like, oh no, we really messed up. There hasn't been any sort of catastrophic failure, because it's just the architecture enables us to to adjust stuff. And I think that's super important for devs. And I know Cardano is hard, but I do hope we get more. I hope we get more devs over here, because it really is a great technology to build on top of.
Yeah. So I know that you minted the starships using the CIP68 protocol, and you actually utilize the functionality of that to update a mistake at the very beginning of the mint. There was some missing metadata somewhere in there. So can you tell us about CIP68 and how that ties into what you're doing?
Yeah, so CIP68 is one of the standards for making dynamic NFTs. So for anybody who's not aware of dynamic NFTs, there's basically two types of NFTs at this point. There's static and there's dynamic. Static NFTs, actually, hang on. I think I've got another slide for this as well.
I figured you might.
So funny. Let's see.
Okay,
here we go.
Screen back up. All right, great.
Yeah. So, static NFTs are valuable as a technology because they're immutable. You purchase this token, or you put it in your wallet. There's nothing is going to change. There's no calls coming back and forth to it. That's it. And that is really good for just collectibles in general. But when you start getting into game development, what's interesting is that you can now create dynamic NFTs, which are basically, there's a little bit of a trade-off, right? It's that the token itself is no longer immutable. It can be changed, but that allows a lot of flexibility and for stuff like, like gameplay or leveling up and stuff like that. So, and then that's reflected in the metadata of the token itself. So if you go, check out whether it's starships with 68 or our Enter the Ultraverse cards with 25, they're dynamic. They change. There's different levels of cards, and the starships similarly. You'll start seeing more stuff there. It's all that's different between 25 and 68. Sort of the back end architecture. CIP68 creates sort of a mirror token, which is basically you can update the dynamic NFTs reading that mirror token, and then that mirror token is updated on our server side. So that actually winds up being really good for the user because there's less transaction friction, and it winds up costing less. Whereas like our Enter the Ultraverse cards or CIP25, any change has to be a transaction. Or has to be a user side generated transaction, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
But
just
dynamic NFTs, by the way, are a thing that's just like so another just mind blowing thing that's just happening that I feel like has been kind of just glossed over in the space because they're bananas. They're totally bananas.
I'll look forward to seeing where they take us.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more question here, and this is about the RAD token as the base currency of the game, kind of tying everything together. Is it inflationary? Is it deflationary? How do you deal with RAD token and keep things kind of level? Because I know there's been some rockiness with the supply lately.
Oh yeah. So RAD token is officially, well, again, all things are adjustable, but I'm basically targeting for deflation in a couple different ways. First of all, we've burned half the supply. One of the smart contracts we developed was one of the burn wallets, and half the supply of RAD is in there. There's like 45 billion in there. So now there's only 45 billion RAD total. The emissions happen through each epoch through power level of terraforms, as well as through just staking through Summon, our stake pool. And then you can also win RAD just through playing all the games, which is a lot of fun. And we are able to, and we regularly do actually adjust those amounts. So like on the staking side, RAD rewards have been kind of going down. Up until recently, we had that Cardano Foundation delegation. So we gave everybody a nice boost with that just because kind of, it's fun. But over time, the staking rewards on RAD are going down and the game rewards are going up. And then in addition to that, here I'll send, I can share, I should just send you guys like a screenshot. Doesn't matter.
Oh, sure.
So additionally, the things that cost RAD in the Nexus, like leveling your cards, building some Citadel modules, stuff like that, or RAD mints, what have you. All of that's going back into the Nexus wallet. and currently we've accrued we're now at 354 million as of right now. 354 million rad has come back into the Nexus through our various syncs. So, I mean, that's basically the balancing act, right? Is that you're balancing out your outflow with your inflow, and hopefully creating basically targeted growth is kind of the goal, which we've have been achieving now that our syncs are pretty well functional. So that's pretty exciting.
Great. Yeah. It's all an ongoing, ever evolving thing. So fun to be a part of. And looking forward to keep on riding the train.
That's right. Yeah, it's there's so much happening, and I'm just very grateful to be here. It's a lot of fun. I wake up every day just stoked on it, and I hope the rest of Cardania does too. So
absolutely. It's like we have a visitor.
Somebody
Welcome
wants
back.
to salute the captain.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Desmond?
How's it going?
Hey,
Look at him. He's getting big.
Who are all those people? What are they doing? You want to clap for Captain's interview? Clap.
Yeah, he's working on his
We should ask him some questions.
I'd be very interested in the answers.
Yes. Well, that's all the questions I have, and we're coming up on the hour. So any other thoughts or stuff you want to get in here before we call it?
We've got a couple mints coming up. We do have Ultra Bots will be coming up soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
Those are going to be usable in the companion slot for the inventory system. And that set is really just gorgeous. Really beautiful 3D little bots of different varieties. There's a few collabs in there too. We've got a Facility 7 bot in there. There's an Aeonium Sky collab, which hasn't really been announced. Yeah, check that guy out. That's one of the flying bots. There's a wheelie bot, there's a walkie bot, and then there's a zoomy bot, which are those guys. They're flying, and each of them will do kind of different stuff. And there's just a ton of variety with that set. So that's exciting. And then all the inventory items too. So you're going to see a lot of mints coming down, which are more small money. Look, he likes the pins.
Yes, he does.
I saw him. He took one off of Trevor's messenger bag the other day, and he was holding it. And I was like,
yeah. Yeah, what's up, buddy? That's so funny. He loves it.
Yeah, he likes Scott Chestnut.
Yeah, what are you doing, Dad?
I wonder what he thinks when you put on the hair. If you recognize, I mean,
he's like, what does he do?
He probably thinks y'all are all here to talk to him because we do FaceTime with his grandparents. So he probably
the pins alone.
That's right.
He says, "No, we're not leaving the pins alone."
Baby Epsilon.
So
we actually let it be known that we premiered if we were having a boy or a girl at Cardania Marbles.
We
did, yes. It was so amazing. Yeah. That Desmond's probably gonna wind up hosting in 15 years or something. Yeah.
10 years.
Give him a little bit of time. Yeah.
Inherit CNFT news.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, this has been lovely, and I look forward to continue our conversation in person in Vegas.
Yes,
we'll
over dinner.
Be doing a little
I've got where we're going to eat picked out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let us know. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so exciting. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see everybody in Vegas. If you're gonna be there, let me know. Drop me a DM. There may still be a Cardania event. I kind of got to get my butt in gear with it if we're going to do anything. But if nothing else, we're just going to go. We're going to have a good time. We'll hang out, smoke some stogies, have a couple drinks.
Captain's room.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
Best.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Do some yodeling.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some drunken yodeling.
Yeah.
Just like Oktoberfest.
All right. So I think we're going to call the stream here then.
I know. This is actually a big day in Cardano. I forgot to mention this in the beginning.
Ooh, good.
But very historic day before we sign off here.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have pulled it up.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, so today a certain policy ID logs. a very that policy ID locking is very significant because
I wonder what it could be.
I hope it's not one of mine. I didn't know about it.
Yes.
so the Astro Buns policy,
Yeah.
which is well known for rugging not once but twice on the same policy ID.
That was
Wow.
that's a Guinness World Record right there. Like, who knew it could even be done?
Right. Right. It's minting in a couple hours, so actually, I mean, it's closing in a couple hours. It's actually not closed yet, but yeah. I just thought it'd be cool to mention.
The Astro Buns. That's right.
Yep.
Wow.
Should we put them in the Nexus?
Try to get a third.
I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Sure.
We've got Coco Loco in there. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else?
Yeah.
We've got a couple. I think we've added a couple rugs just for fun, but you know.
All right. Well, salute to Astro Buns, and let's do our sign off.
It's been
So
quite a journey.
for the CNFT News, I'm Scott Chestnut.
I'm Summer Horsegrave.
I'm with Spaces.
Is it me?
Who are you?
I'm El Capitan with Cardania.
And we'll see you next time.